Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and this is a special review I'm doing for Filmstagram Movie Club. And if you aren't a part of it, check out Magic of Film's Instagram page. He's a great, really collector of film community on Instagram. I was every day watching his top 100 films of all time that was voted on. I had my vote in it. He's doing his top 100 directors now. I had my votes in it. And this was a cool idea where we all get to have like a theme of each month, and then each week have a film to watch, do our reviews, and share them into the Filmstagram Movie Club community. Hashtag Filmstagram Movie Club. And starting with Hitchcock for the month of October, starting with Vertigo. And this is by far my favorite Hitchcock film. I can't remember if I think I did a review of this because I got to see this in theaters again. But it's interesting sitting here reviewing it again for this specific purpose. Because Alfred Hitchcock, obviously without having to beat a dead horse, is one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. Master of thriller and horror and just suspense. And the idea of watching somebody, like a group of people eating lunch, and then the place blowing up. That's not suspense. But cutting back and forth to a ticking clock on that bomb as they're sitting there eating their lunch, that's suspense. You're sitting there, it's like, somebody gonna find it? Are they gonna do something about this? Are they gonna leave in time? Hitchcock knows how to do that. And Vertigo isn't necessarily like a horror or a thriller, really, in that traditional sense. It's not like Psycho. It is a mystery, and it's one of my favorite mysteries. Because, and obviously I've watched this plenty of times at this point, and it doesn't surprise me that some people feel like this is one of the greatest films of all time. It's one of my favorite classics of all time. It's something that builds up, like Jimmy Stewart is playing this detective who loses his job because of his fear of heights. He gets that vertigo. I'm afraid of heights. I don't get vertigo necessarily, but like, don't like it. So I don't blame you, Jimmy Stewart. But a man falls to his death because he's frozen in fear of the height, running across the roofs of San Francisco. Beautiful way to start the film. Across that landscape, it really sets the tone of like San Francisco plays a big part in this film, and just the technical precision of how Hitchcock creates that vertigo effect of quickly pulling the camera back and zooming at the same time just creates that distorted look. It's a classic technical precision of such a great director, and that choice, the music. Oh, the music in this film, composed by Bernard Herrmann. Bernard Herrmann's like, oh my god, just how this works. It builds that tension. I have the theme to Vertigo on my Amazon Music because it's just, Herrmann's just was an amazing composer, and the music just works so well in this film. And he gets hired by a former friend from college or whatever, and something going on with his wife. Is his wife being possessed by this spirit of this woman, and he's following her around, seeing her do all these weird things. He saves her from drowning herself at the Golden Gate Park, and they start building this relationship. And what happens next really affects him, throws his whole life at a turn, trying to chase her. That famous scene going up the steeple of the chapel, up to the bell of this chapel out in California, and him being frozen as he's trying to run up these steps to the top of the tower where the bell is, and then his life spirals. And one of the most impeccably created hallucinations, dreams ever put on film, and it made me so, it honestly pissed me off when I saw this in theaters for the 50th anniversary, and these two kids behind me were laughing about how silly the scene was, and I'm like, It's horrifying, it's creepy, the like that building up the score at the beginning, and just the unnervingness of like how the scene's animated, the flashing lights, the animation of that brooch, and just like Jimmy Stewart's disembodied, like unnerved face flying through the spiral, and just all the visuals, like that silhouette of a man falling down, just like spiraling like that, and it's just so well realized, and it's one of the coolest scenes I've ever seen in a film, mixing music and visuals to just portray this is a man being broken. And not to give away, because like I'm like, this is an old film, but like I don't want to really spoil the film for you, because if you haven't seen it, I want you to go see it and experience it for the first time. But where the last piece of this film goes, and you pulling back the layers, and you see this man who's completely broken, and Jimmy Stewart portrays him so well in becoming obsessed, and he has nothing left in his life except for this woman, and would do anything to have her back. And he just does such a great job of feeling unhinged and having these realizations. And through all of this, poor Kim Novak, who's portraying this woman, and just her reactions to the way that his emotions are just a wave of between like broken and controlling, and you can see the fear in her as she's dealing with this. And this film takes you for a ride because it goes into so many different directions that you never expect it to go. And by the end, you're left there thinking how tragic this story really was. And in the end, Hitchcock's a master of being able to play his audience, plays them like a fiddle, and he takes you for a ride. And Vertigo is one of his most impressive and different kind of films. It's not just a concept, it's not just a horror, it's something more. It's this mystery, it's this romance, it has these thrills, it takes you on a journey, and it's so well realized in such a different way, between the music, how it's shot technically, everything. Vertigo is a special kind of film that will leave you at the end, after you watch this for the first time, feeling all kinds of emotions. And you really need to process it, and having watched this so many times, realizing what a descent this film is of a man, and what people's consequences, how they come back and get them in the end. And I just love Vertigo. It's such an experience, and if you haven't watched Vertigo before, I hope this little review gets you interested enough to go give it a try. And it would be really cool once it's next time it's released in theaters to go check it out there. I thought that was such an awesome experience getting to check this out in a theater. But those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think of Vertigo, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer, and please, please, please go check out #Filmstagram Movie Club through Magic of Film Instagram page. This is going to be a fun time, so join us. And like I said, thank you as always for your support.